Hi, Val. Just getting people in here. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Everybody's getting logged on. Get you all in here. I don't want to lose everybody this week. I lost them last week. Sorry about that. You know, the strangest things only happen to me. Just saying. How's everybody doing? It is a beautiful day. Just letting people get logged on and then we'll start opening up. If somebody has a question, go ahead and ask me.
Hi, Patty. How are you doing?
Short and sassy. Thanks for asking.
That's good.
How about you? How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you.
I'm ready for the pandemic to be over. I'm actually really excited about May 24th. That's
that one. I see.
Yes, the trade show in Pasadena.
Yes.
Ag trade show. I'm very excited about that. I got the lineup. It looks like I'm on the main stage or it looks like I'm speaking at 3 o'clock.
Is the schedule already up?
Yes.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I'm at 3 o'clock and you want to know what I'm teaching? You'll love this one.
What is that?
How to get more bang for your buck from your attorney.
Yes. I love it.
I see that one of my sisters is logging on. Hello. I'm very excited for her. I think she's going to get her house back very quickly. More people are coming in, you guys. I'm just letting them in. If somebody has a question, something they want to ask me, let's talk about it. We got a lot of moving parts still with this COVID pandemic. I was hoping it would go away on April Fool's Day, but it fooled me and stuck around for another 90 days. I am starting to see that there is a wait list on Live to Rise because they're out of funding. We knew it was going to happen. We just didn't know when. Well, it's happening. They're starting to run out of funding in some of these programs. So get ready. They're placing some people on a wait list. I'm seeing that mostly in San Bernardino County. A wait list. Anybody have questions? You got me. Pick my brain, you guys.
Patty, I have a question.
Sure.
I'm gonna taking over the property, and what happened? All the agreements, they allow the tenants, to pay with the check, money order, and the cashier check. But since I'm gonna transition to pay everything online, is this gonna be okay or not?
You can't force a tenant to pay online.
I cannot.
No.
I see.
Always, and anything, you always have to give them an option that doesn't cost them any money. And I'll give you an example. Most of the online programs charge the tenant anywhere from $2 to $10 to have the ability to pay their rent online. You also have to give them a choice that doesn't cost them to do it. Make sense?
Okay.
Okay, that's the biggest thing. You can make it so everybody has to pay their rent online. If there's always a fee, that's not right. The tenant penalized for trying to make a payment. Make sense?
Okay.
I mean, how would we like it if our credit card company, and they do this, if we want to pay online, they could charge us. Right? Be able to pay the bill online. Why can't I just mail you a check? It doesn't cost me a dime. You have to keep a way for them to pay you that does not cost them any money.
I see.
That's where you get into trouble. Does that make sense?
Okay, because I'm trying to do the pay online with cozy.co, And right now, they transfer everything, to apartments.com. So if the tenants want to pay with the checking account, that's gonna be free of charge. But if you're gonna pay, with the debit card and the credit card, it's gonna be 2.75% charge, to the tenant.
Right,
So it's
but that's
like,
what on a tenant has to have a way to pay the rent that doesn't charge them a fee.
okay,
That's what's the requirement by law, is tenants can't be penalized for trying to pay you. They have to have an option to pay you that doesn't penalize them, meaning you have to take a check in the mail.
so in that case, since, I'm gonna live, I mean, I live, in one of the units. So do they need still to mail the check to me, or they just give it to me in person?
You can still accept a personal check. Whether they mail it to you or bring it to you in person has no bearing unless you're trying to ask for it on a 3-day notice.
I have a question to add to this.
Yes,
We have tenants who haven't paid their rent in a long time. And we just got the COVID relief check for them, so they're good to go on paying again. However, we would prefer for them to pay certified funds or money order. Are we allowed to do that?
let me ask you some questions. Are they currently on a month-to-month agreement or are they locked into a term?
They are month to month. San
And give them
Bernardino
a-
County.
Then give them a notice of change of terms of tenancy, telling them that you only accept certified funds going forward in rent collection, which would be cashier's check, money order, or cash.
Okay,
And if you're
so,
trying to make sure those funds are secure, please remember that money orders and cashier's checks can still be fraudulent.
okay.
Okay, and that's just me talking to you.
What about Zelle or other payment ways?
For payments coming through Zelle or internet payment and things like that, you can ask for them to be coming that way. Here's the biggest issue, you guys. You don't want to start doing something with Zelle, and I'll explain to you why. Let's say you get down the road a year from now and you need to evict for whatever reason, okay? They could Zelle you $1 the day of your court trial, and you can't turn that off. You can't stop them from doing that. You can't close the portal so they can't pay you online anymore. They can just Zelle it to you. It messes up your entire eviction case if you receive payment or accept payment during the course of an eviction.
Here's
With that
Erica.
being
Ed.
having a program like Cozy Co, it's cozy.co. It's now owned by Apartment Publications. I'm trying to think of it. It's an advertising company. Basically, they will be the middleman for you. The tenant pays online, it goes directly into your bank account, but they're the middleman. You can contact them and say, I'm evicting my tenant. I want to close their portal so they can't pay me anymore. And they just do that. They close it. Now your tenant can't log on. They can't pay you that way. That's the tool, you guys. We need to be able to lock it so they
So she-
do it.
Thank you.
Uh-oh, what's happening? Am I freezing?
Yes.
Breaking up a little bit.
It's me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna move. Hold on. We're going on an adventure, folks. Am I freezing now? Am I freezing now? A,
Not
B,
better.
C. Okay, so I'm gonna move my chair over here. Wait a second, I'll be right back. I know you guys can't see me, thank goodness. Hold on, I'm coming. I don't want to get locked out like we did last week. That wasn't fun. Okay, I'm back. Can you guys hear me and see me? We're good?
Mhm, mhm.
Okay, so when you're taking online payments or when you're scheduling things to help you, You guys, the biggest thing is we want to be able to shut it off. Nothing sucks worse than when you're in an eviction trial and you show up at court and the tenant provides a receipt that they deposited $1 into your account yesterday or even that morning. Shit. We need something you can shut off. Cozy and these programs have portals for your tenants, so you can just shut off the portal. And then they can't log on, they can't do anything. When you use Zelle and things like that, you don't have the capability of shutting it off so the tenant can't use it. That's when it bites you.
Patty, when
Yeah.
I asked you earlier, I want to transition the tenant to pay everything online. I know there is an issue because the agreement mentioned they can pay, with the cashier check, money order, and the personal check. But since, I'm not able to enforce that, so how I can protect myself if there is any eviction and then, they still want to keep, pay anything like that. And then
You
also
have
you
to-
mentioned,
you have to
sorry.
bank accounts every day while you're in an eviction. Even the morning you go to trial and you're standing in court, I would be logging onto the bank account on my phone to see if they made a deposit.
How are they gonna know which bank, I have the account?
You notify your tenant. So you tell your tenant, I'm at Chase Bank, here's my account number, this is how you pay your rent. Okay, now they've been doing that for 2 years, only you want to start an eviction because they have unauthorized occupants. Okay, so we're going through the eviction process, and then the day of trial, they make a deposit of $1 into your bank account, and that causes your eviction to stop because you accepted payment. Don't set yourself up for failure by utilizing a program that makes it easy for you. You need to make it so that it makes sense for you. So if you can shut off that account or make it so they can't make deposits into that bank account, that's the program you want.
But since I cannot use the program, so what should I do then?
You can use the program, but you can also tell them that they can send in a check. They can send in a money order. They can send in a cashier's check.
Okay, to send it to my address. Okay, got it.
You can encourage them to pay online, but you can't require it. Got it?
I see. I got it. Thank you.
No problem. And I saw a bunch of questions come in, you guys. I'm going to try to answer them. If you guys have more questions, ask. Hang on. What money orders and credit cards or cashier's checks? Sorry, I read that as credit cards. CC, right? Credit card, cashier's check can be fraudulent. Oh my God. Yes, there was a period of time where a bunch of fake cashier's checks were going around and they were fraudulent. So you know how people make fake money? They make fake checks too. Just saying. City of LA, non-RSO evictions. Do we need a health and safety such as elder abuse restraining order to evict? LA City non-RSO, you need a murder, death, suicide, material breach of the lease contract, a nuisance, health and safety violation, code enforcement. You got to have teeth, guys. Lots of them in LA. Oh my goodness. Okay. Is there a court case backlog in LA County? I may need to file an eviction very soon. Not per se. And how do I say this the nicest way I can? There isn't a backlog. We're not seeing an issue with backlogs and case delays. For the most part, everything's just being heavily litigated because there's no case law regarding COVID. So in the you need to go to trial in LA County, my opinion is stay away from the money and go after the drama. Remember, everyone has been affected by COVID, everybody. So if they can argue it in court, it's going to delay your case. Then ask for just April. And I heard that. Ask for just April. Okay. Here's the reality, you guys, and I got to be careful what I say because I'm not an attorney. I can't give you legal advice. Okay. it has been in my best experience that what happens is anytime you're going after monies that were due during the COVID pandemic, you're inviting COVID protections to come to your eviction lawsuit. So if you're looking for possession, and I know we all want all that money that's owed to us, let's face it. But the reality is, courts are not issuing money judgments right now. They are issuing judgments for possession only. With that being said, they're only going to issue a judgment for possession. Why not just ask for April's rent? Or just ask for May's rent if you're evicting for next month. Otherwise, you invite COVID to the eviction. Get it? All they're going to give you is possession, and they owe you $40,000. And I'm just talking out loud. Why not just evict them for April so they can't invite COVID to my party? You guys paying attention? Is this thing on? We can still do evictions right now. We don't need proof of participation in the program for April if we're just asking for April. Got it? You don't have to prove their application status in order to get a lockout done if you're just asking for April's rent. This thing on? Are you guys paying attention? Trying. Okay, see what else I got going on. iPad, LA City RSO. How do I state a cure for a 3-day notice to cure a violation due to modification without written consent by the owner? Cure, remove the surveillance camera from recording. Can you improve? Yes, I can improve. Okay. First, there's 3 parts of a curable breach of covenant notice. 1 is exactly what's written in your lease, the rule they're breaking. 2 is what they did wrong. And 3 is how they fix it. So in this particular area, it may say in your lease contract that they can do no modifications to the property without written consent of the landlord. And you copy that one and you put that on there. That's the material breach of the lease they broke. The violation is they installed unpermitted modifications to the property, may include installing surveillance cameras without landlord consent. How do we correct this? Remove the cameras within 3 days. I hope that helped you. Okay. This is for non-payment. Yes, it's for April. COVID protection window is April through June. The window, folks, for that 90-day extension the state gave us is only if they have a pending application. If the tenant is not participating in the program, they have no protection. Start eviction.
Patty, I have a question.
Please, if
Okay.
they're not paying April's rent, start eviction for April. Let's go. It's time. Okay, and yes,
I have a question.
yes.
Okay, so we had 2 tenants. One of them moved out. One of them is still remaining in the home. We served eviction papers to both of them, but one of the tenants claims that she hasn't lived in the home since around 2016. We asked her for the paperwork. We do not have any paperwork, and she does not have any either.
Because she's trying not to get named in the eviction.
Uh-huh.
Let's just keep it real, okay? So unfortunately, we don't have a 30-day notice from you stating that you had no further interest in the property. So we still have you as being an occupant in this property.
Is that simple? Perfect. Thank you.
And the reality is we want to name everybody in the eviction that we possibly can that is 18 years of age or older. We don't ever want to name any kids. It screws up the whole case, okay?
Oh, yeah.
But remember, when we get to court, we can always dismiss people.
Oh, okay.
So let's say that this gal then gives you a 30-day notice in writing. She has no further interest in the property. What she's trying to do is get out of the eviction. Okay, if we weren't evicting in this particular scenario, and then she gave me the 30-day notice that she had no further interest in the property, I would then put that in the file. When it comes time for me to do the disposition of security deposit, her name doesn't go on the check.
Hmm.
Okay, that's how that works. See, my
Thank you.
professional property managers, they got this much information and she's writing notes because it opened up something somewhere else for her that made her write that down. So for participating in Widget's Way, we love you guys. Okay, let me go back a little bit further. You guys, please pay attention to me. Okay, I'm gonna try really hard. If a tenant is not participating in the program to get the rent relief money, they have no protection. That is across the state. You're welcome. Paying attention? Is that clicking? I don't care if you're in LA City, if the tenant isn't paying you and they're not participating in a program, they have no protections. Let a judge say why they should keep getting to live there for free. Let a judge tell you that they're stealing their house from you and the government's assisting them do it. It's not going to happen. Okay. For those of us that have been raked over the coals, and I'm talking about LA County and LA City, we've been through this shit for almost 2 years now. Over 2 years. 2 years. What happened to the 2 weeks to flatten the curve? Just saying, we can't keep going this way. We have to challenge them. You guys, they're going to end up with our investment property. They're going to own it. We're headed down this road where it don't look so pretty, okay? We need to do a U-turn somewhere. We need to challenge the city that's telling us we can't do anything when they're not giving us any money. They're not helping us. They're hindering us. And the reality is, once you get into court, that's where the argument comes. That's where you come to an agreement with your tenant. We got to start that process at some point. We got to get there. Before we can start the negotiation, you got to show up for the party. So if just asking for April's rent and doing an eviction for April is what you have to do to get that ball rolling so that you can regain possession and stop the financial bleeding for your investment property, do it. Call your legal counsel. Tell them what your problem is. Tell them what your plan is and why you want to get there so badly. I mean, a lot of us, especially in LA City, you guys, we're past a notice of default. We're looking in the face of a foreclosure sale, and there's no light at the end of the tunnel for us. We need somebody to hear us, and the only way that's going to happen is if we get in front of a judge in a courtroom. You guys know how to get there. Okay, backwards again. Sorry, I was late. Can we evict for April's rent? Is that for LA County too? Yes, if they're not participating in the program and they have not paid you April's rent and they did not self-certify within 7 days of the rent being due, go, run with your hair on fire, run. Call your legal counsel, see if they can help you. Do a health and safety restraining order and everything all at one time. Serve a 3-day notice to perform, like she disconnected smoke detectors, etc. Absolutely. That's a huge problem. What if, God forbid, there were to be a fire in that property and then her family came and sued you for a wrongful death lawsuit because you didn't maintain the smoke detectors? Ouch. Remember, you guys, we don't get all our teeth back for quite some time, but June 1st in LA County is when we can start doing evictions for unauthorized occupants, unauthorized pets, and failure to allow entry as long as the reason to enter is not considered retaliation. Okay, remember that, June 1st, you guys. Should I do it all? If you have items blocking your walkways and stuff, that's also health and safety. Remember, The fire department needs a 3-foot circumference to turn around in a full fire suit with air tanks on. They want 3 feet. In Larso, one tenant who has not paid a penny since COVID, but has got rent relief several times, he still claims each month he's still being affected by COVID. Man, that's the person that I want to put in my crosshairs and ask them to hold the target. Because how do you not pay anything for 2 freaking years and have a program pay for you while you just sit there? That makes me extremely frustrated. I'm sorry. If he has further applications with California COVID or post notice or what, contact your legal counsel, Melanie. There is some things that we can start doing to get geared up for this, you guys. The light at the end of the tunnel is coming. See question 1 at the beginning. Okay, thank you, Val. I will go back and look at question 1. If a tenant's rent is $850 and they only paid $500 for April, they are always late. Should I serve a 3-day notice now for April for $350 or wait for May 2nd and serve for $1,200? If it were me, I'd wait till May 2nd and serve it for $1,200. Why? Because that's more money they have to come up with in a rapid fashion. If you serve them right now, example, and they got to come up with $300, and that's to $350, my bad. They got to come up with $3 in 3 days. Let's play this out. The day you serve the notice doesn't count. Tomorrow would be day 1, Friday's day 2, Monday is day 3. You could start eviction by Tuesday. Isn't that the first? Wouldn't it make more sense to wait till the 2nd and get them for as much money as we possibly can? Yes. So I'd wait till the 2nd, Val. They're pushovers, they don't fight. That's not true. Some of them fight, some of them have been burned badly and they're scared to fight. And when I say burned badly, you have no idea. You guys think you know? You have no idea. Some of the things that I've seen working in a law firm. I beg you, all of you right now, please put this in your repertoire of things you do when you're screening tenants. Go look in the courthouse, that the area from when they moved from, and look at the vexatious litigant list. What is Patty talking about? If these people lived in San Diego, okay, and now they want to live at your house in Riverside County, I want you to look at the vexatious litigant list for San Diego, not for where you are now, for where they're coming from. Jay, give me a minute. I'll talk to you about 3 feet in a fire. Okay. So there's a thing that's with the courthouse, you guys. It's called a vexatious, V-I-X, V-I-X-C-I-O-U-S, vexatious. And that's not how you spell it. I'll Google it. Hey, Surrey. Oh, I can't say that right now. My thing will start going. It's called vexatious litigant. Okay. A vexatious litigant is someone that the court puts on a list that is known to be someone that litigates for a living. Okay. It's what they do. Oh, I tripped and fell. My shoe is untied, but I'm going to sue this company because I fell on their property. That's a vexatious litigant. Got it? So make sure that you're running vexatious litigants through the court records. Yes, there you go. Vexatious litigant. Look at my people. Thank you. I love you guys so much. You have no idea. You're always helping me. Oh, see, it's V-E-X. Vexatious. C-I-O-U-S. I would go with that one. It's called the vexatious litigant list, and the court puts it out. The court puts people on it. You cannot pay to put someone on the vexatious litigant list. A judge has to do it. Okay. And one of the attorneys I used to work with tells a great story. He's all, yeah, we were right there in the courtroom and the judge ordered her to be put on the vexatious litigant list. And do you know what that woman did? She went right down to the clerk's office and filed a complaint and tried to sue the court for putting her on the list. That's what I'm talking about. That's a vexatious litigant. You want to stay away from them. I've come across 2 of them in my career. One within the last 10 years, all prior to COVID, and I only found out about it because of working in the law firm. I learned what a vexatious litigant actually is. And this is the person that goes, and I'm going to try this. I know I have a background. You know, this notice you gave me, look, it won't even show up. That is so crazy. I have a piece of paper right here. Okay, sorry. But you know this notice you gave me? It's not in 10-point font. And California Civil Procedure says it must be in 10-point font, so the notice is bad. That's what I'm talking about. That's a vexatious litigant. Talk about crossing your T's and dotting your I's. That's what they focus on, is knowing what the rules are in technicalities so they can use them against you. Vexatious litigant. Put it on your list of things that you should be doing when you're screening an applicant. You don't want one of those in your property. I've dealt with one. I've seen 2. It always breaks my heart when I tell the story of the second one, and I think you guys saw me go, because it hurt. It got me right in the feels. Gentleman trying to evict a tenant out of the property. It ended up costing him over $200,000. That's what I said, $200,000. It took him over 2 years. And we finally got him out. The house was destroyed. Long story short, it was his son. He was evicting his son. His son had turned to drugs and he had no choice but to do an eviction. He took over possession of this property and wouldn't give it back to dad and was running amok. Unfortunately, drugs do strange things to people, and this gentleman just totally annihilated his father's life with this. I mean, he ended up losing 2 properties trying to save this one. And yeah, I got no words. That one can get you right in the feels. I can't imagine one of my own children doing that to me. But you got to remember, it's not your child, it's the drugs. Okay. That's what you got to remember. It's not your child, it's the drugs. But yeah, I've seen some heinous stuff come through this office. Heinous. Where you're like, wait, what? Yep. Yep. I always tell people too, and I will go to the grave saying this, don't get involved in business with family. You guys all do that in your personal lives. I've never started a business with my brother-in-law. Then why in the hell did you let him rent your property? A rental is a business, folks. And if you rent to family, please keep that in mind. Do you know how many evictions we do here for family versus family? It happens a lot. It happens every day. You'd be shocked. But if you'd never start a business with Uncle Joe, don't rent him your house. Just saying. Just saying. Something to think about. All right. You guys got more questions for me?
I think I heard you say earlier, Patty, something about like June 24th, maybe. So do we have any idea of when the COVID bullshit is coming to an end? Do we have anything new?
May 24th is AGLA's trade show at the Pasadena Convention Center. That's where the 24th came from.
Okay.
So AGLA is doing a trade show at the Pasadena Convention Center. It's free to attend. I'm actually teaching how to get more bang for your buck from your legal counsel on the stage. I believe I'm on at 3 o'clock, but it's free to go. It's full of vendors. It's full of educators. There'll be attorneys there. You'll learn more about mold companies and restoration companies and water heater companies, and they got everything you can imagine. It's like this pressula of just stuff for residential investment property. It's awesome. But that's what's happening then. As far as the 24th, as far as the end of the pandemic.
Oh man, I misheard you. That's what I thought you were talking about earlier. Oh, I got excited for no reason.
I'm gonna be honest with you, you guys are in San Bernardino County,
Yes,
the
ma'am.
end, is coming the end of June, July 1st, we get our independence back. Just keep looking at it that way.
Sounds
You
good.
guys joined Widget's way. All of us were like, come on, April Fools, come on, April Fools. Well, it fooled us. Now we're, come on, Independence Day, come on, Independence Day, give me my freedom back. So that's what we're looking at now, just so you understand. But remember, this extension of 90 days was only, hang on, all of a sudden, all these people are coming in. Hang on, let them in, let them in. You guys are late. I'm just playing. Sorry, sometimes I get a little, I gotta be a goofball. Oh, more? Either that or you guys left and came back. I don't know, something weird's going on here. I didn't kick you out.
Patty, I had a quick question. So
sure.
this is gonna be for San Bernardino County. We have an eviction going on with a tenant who basically has left the home, and while he was living there, let people live there who are not on the lease. So we are evicting more for possession versus money because we know we're not gonna get any of that. But ultimately, the court, or I guess I should say fast, saying we need an updated status from Housing is Key. Because of course, first step was to apply. But for whatever reason, it is notated as duplicate in Housing is Key. So they tell us that they cannot change that status. The tenant has to call in and verify which one we need to process. So they will not process the application. So I told them, you know, this tenant is unresponsive. We have no way of being in contact. You know, we're just trying to get them out of this house, basically. So
Okay.
Brandy was
Eviction.
back. Yeah, go ahead.
Did you start an eviction yet?
We did.
Okay, and I heard you say you talked to Brandy. Brandy says you need that thing. Here's the thing.
Technically, we do need that status change, but she said she thinks the only way maybe is like a declaration, like just me basically saying everything that I've tried to do and how Housing is Key basically said they can't do anything. So I wanted to pick your brain and see, is that our last resort in getting these people out of this house?
That could be your last resort, or, and I hate to, you could always do a 3-day notice for April's rent and then start eviction just on April because there is no program for April.
Okay. Okay. I'll
Does
see
that
if
sense?
that's something owner might be interested in.
Right, because, and this is why I tell people, don't get mad at your legal counsel, because we didn't know the rules were gonna change. We didn't know they were gonna add an extension. We didn't know gonna be no more money. We didn't know. So the same things that happened to you guys out there happened to us. Just,
Yeah. Okay.
all right, somebody's,
Thank you.
oh, no worries, that's why I'm here. Hold on, somebody's got their mic open. I got it. Okay. All right. Does anybody else have a question for me? Something they want to talk about, something they want to know? Well, we talked about 3 feet. Who asked me that? 3 feet. So fire, health and safety, fire standards in residential dwellings says that there must be a 3-foot radius. If you think of it this way, if you have a fireman dressed in their big old jacket and their big old hat and their big old oxygen tanks, if they have to carry a body through a property, they want a 3-foot walking space radius. So it's a way for you to clear up clutter and debris. So it's one of the things we use for pack rats. You guys may know it as a hoarder, but we don't diagnose. So it's a pack rat, not a hoarder. Got it? In a hoarding situation, that's the health and safety violation that we usually refer to, because how could a fireman actually save somebody when there's so much crap they can't walk through here in their gear with their oxygen tanks? Does that make sense? That's where the 3-foot rule comes in, just so you know the why behind it. I knew there was another question I needed to answer. Okay, I'm going back to the chat. Fossey said it's over. Fossey should have never started it in the first place. Sorry. Zip it, Patty. You're a bit for yourself. So remember, guys, if they're not participating in the program, they have no protection. Want me to say that? If they're not participating in the program, they have no protections. So it's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. And unfortunately, these tenants have been living in these properties for over 2 years without having to pay any funds. They may have been participating with programs, may have been doing, but at some point, they have to get back to business as normal. We have to get our teeth back. And it's coming for us slowly but surely. LA County, you guys watch for that June 1st date. And LA County, and this is what I'm talking about, they lost their right to do evictions for unauthorized occupants, unauthorized pets, or failure to allow entry because of COVID. And they don't get those rights back in LA County until June 1st, where they can do evictions again, starting with those types of. Hi, Allie. Hold on, you something. You were in yesterday's. Right? I couldn't agree with that more. Start allowing pets to avoid bogus ESA animals. Besides, you can charge additional rent for pets. Ding! Trying to work on your bottom line, that's a good way to start it. But we have can they still say ESA? Yes, they'll still say it's an ESA animal, but remember there's new laws regarding ESA animals. I don't know if you guys know this, there's new laws regarding ESA animals. We're not talking about them because we don't want anyone to cause a retaliatory issue. Did you hear that? We don't want anyone to cause a retaliatory issue because of COVID. Okay, there are new laws regarding emotional support animals. And Allie, it's just a better business practice to allow pets because let's face it, if I tell you we're a pet friendly building, you're going to tell me you have a pet, I'm going to ask you for additional pet rent and a higher deposit. If I tell you we're no pets, then I'm going to go find an emotional support letter animal and I'm going to try to bring that as an emotional support animal. That's the reality. Okay, that is the reality. It's first also the date for San Diego City. No, it is not. It is only for LA County. Veronica, I have to look at the city of San Diego. They are now implementing. Where do I start? Okay, deep breath, Patty. Yes, mad. So some cities and counties are, I'm sorry, some municipalities within San Diego County have said that they're not going to do extensions for COVID extensions, and then other areas of the county are saying that they do additional protections for COVID. After this state law expires, remember what's governing us right now is the state of California giving to tenants that were facing eviction because they had pending applications. If they don't have an application pending, they have no protection. Got it? Okay. So with that being said, that part of it is going to open in the next 90 days. People need to be paying their rent going forward. We have to get them back on track of pay your rent or we evict you. I honestly and truly believe that okay, I hear you, Lee. Let me find out who it is. Somebody's got the mic open. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna mute him. I think I fixed it. I fixed it. I'm so happy. All right, hang on. Yes, they could say it's an emotional support animal to avoid charges. However, the emotional support animal changes says that the tenant providing the letter for the ESA animal must be seeking medical treatment from that medical provider for at least 30 days prior to them writing the note. So that's going to eliminate people from getting those things off of Amazon and things like that. Okay, my question is basically starting from scratch with a new rental agreement with a tenant I'm taking away from a bad manager. Yes, I remember this. I need to give them my house rules, my agreement, disclosures, etc. This family's been there for about 7 and 8 years, and doubt the manager ever gave her any new disclosures. Now it's in my lap. There are more people in there now. I do not have the original rental agreement. I just need to start from scratch, even a rental application, since I have zero info on the people living there. The old manager is a jerk. I'm going to teach you guys a trick. Pay attention. I don't use it often. I don't like it, but it works. You can always call the police and ask them to go identify who is in the premises. By law, as a landlord, you have a right to know who's residing in your residential property. So in the event you have squatters, subletters, etc., please take note. You can always call law enforcement and ask them to go identify who is in the property. They may only identify one person, but it's only one person we need to do a notice so that we can start the legal process. I don't like using Jane or John Doe. Do you know how many credit judgments are against Jane and John Doe? I'm just saying. If you can get a name, you're better off. Can you evict if you absolutely don't know who it is? Absolutely. You're evicting Jane and John Doe and all others in possession of, right? That's what we can do. But if you need a name, that's a trick I know works. You can ask law enforcement to go identify who's in possession. Okay, hold on. Yes, I know they're a jerk. I'd ask them to sign a new contract. To access, get information later, serving a 24-hour notice to enter, which she has denied before. Notice to big perm list, perm big list. Notice to perm big list. All right, what am I not getting there? Let me skip that and see if I can make sense of it. Oh, hold on. What the? I'm okay. She's denied access before, put in several notices. She's smoking with 7 marijuana cigarettes. Okay, so she's smoking pot, RDB, other things. She's ruining my property. She's a violent person. She's taking my stuff outside. She's been trying to extort money. She's also using out utilities without pay. Teresa, you probably have enough teeth. You just need to implement them properly. If you're in LA County, 24-hour notice to enter, and they won't let you in, there's nothing you can do about those until June 1. Okay? June 1, you guys. The fat lady's gonna sing on June 1. Allie, did you go find the vexatious litigant list and post it in this chat for everyone to see? I love you. You guys, she really did. I hope you see that. It says Chrome extension and it's giving you the court's vexatious litigant list. Yes, it's in a PDF form. Thank you, Allie. Where do we find the new ESA law provisions? Lee, nobody's talking about them because it's too risky to be, they passed January 1st of this year. There's new requirements for emotional support animals stating that the letter must come from a doctor and be seeing the patient for at least 30 days prior to issuing the note, or there's civil fines and penalties not only against the tenant for the fraudulent request, but also against the medical provider. So that's all under the new law. I can give you all that information. The problem is nobody's talking about it because nobody wants you to implement it right now because of COVID. It could be considered retaliatory, and we don't need any retaliation issues regarding COVID right now. Val, if you have names for 2 of the women, you got enough to go after them. Okay? Teresa, it's okay. I completely, totally understand. Autocorrect does all kinds of weird stuff to us. We're good. We're all friends here. We know. So it's 3-day notices to perform. Got it. Let me go back up and see what you were talking about, Teresa. She's not allowing access to enter. You want to do 3-day notices to perform. She's smoking marijuana. She's smoking on the property. Here's what I always try to do myself. So this is what I do. If I have a problem with a tenant or I think something's going on at the property, the first thing I do is go post a 24-hour notice to do necessary or agreed upon, to do a preventative maintenance inspection. You guys paying attention? So if I have an inkling that something may be wrong at a property, the first thing I do is a 24-hour notice to do a preventative maintenance inspection. Preventative maintenance inspection should get me to every interior part of that property. I should be looking at smoke detectors, water heaters, blah, 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 blah. I'm also looking at the eaves outside to see if we need to do some painting, making sure we don't have any chipping or peeling paint inside and outside. And then that's when I try my key in the lock and see if my key works or if they've changed the locks, because that's the number one thing all humans do when they move into a new property. Don't lie, you guys do it whenever you buy a property, don't you? Is it because you don't know who has a key? Tenants do the same thing. Okay, so tenants could be changing the locks is a great way to start if you're trying to build a case on modifications without written consent of the landlord. One thing you can always do is make sure your key works. If your key doesn't work anymore, guess what? They changed the locks without your permission. Other things tenants do, install flat screen TVs. There's not a problem with them having a flat screen TV, but when they mounted it to the wall, the mount became real property. So that's a modification. Painting is also another way. Installing a Ring doorbell or camera systems, also considered a modification of the property. Okay, so those are all reasons. Whenever you're trying to build a case because you know you're going to have to evict this person, preventative maintenance inspection at hello starts the ball rolling. Hi, I'm here to do a preventative maintenance inspection. The owner wants to see if we need to paint the eaves or if there's anything else going on at the property that needs to be addressed so that we can provide you with the best maintenance possible. So I'm coming in. I'll be back tomorrow. You guys have a great day. I'll see you then. I go back tomorrow. Hey, so are there any repairs or anything that you want to bring to my attention while I'm here? And I only ask that because you live here every day. You see this stuff every day. I'm only here for a few minutes. So if there's something that you want to bring to my attention, maybe a garbage disposal, a dishwasher, or something that you've noticed that isn't quite right or may need attention in the future, maybe it's not an issue now, I'd really appreciate that, because if you help me, I can just provide you a better place to live. So those are my verbiages so far. Now I'm doing the inspection. I'm in the property and I see everything they're doing wrong. Now I'm going to flood them with all the curable breach of covenant notices. Got it? But first I want to get my butt in there and have a look around to see what else is going on. Okay. I'm hoping that clicks, you guys. So if I personally am told, hey, I want those people out of my house by this landlord, the first thing I do is a preventative maintenance inspection. Why? I want to go see, are they taking care of the property? Is there an issue here? Is this just nothing? You getting it? So the only way to find out is for you to go look. Don't listen to anybody, go look. Okay? Don't listen to the neighbor, don't listen to the tenant, don't listen to your employees, go look. Okay, Val. San Diego City is not June 1st. Okay, I have to look at what San Diego is. And mind you, other municipalities within the county of San Diego are already coming up with their own moratoriums that will be in a place as soon as the state law expires. And we'll see more and more of that come up everywhere. Right now, the reason they added the 90 days is so that the state could pay out tenants, right? It also stops all the municipalities from coming up with their own moratoriums regarding COVID. You guys remember when COVID first started and all the little cities started coming up with their own garbage of what you had to do? And people like me that have to learn this everywhere wanted to rip out our hair. We're going to end up going back to that. As soon as the state law expires, and mind you, that's one of the reasons why they initiated the state laws, so all the municipalities wouldn't come up with their own little quirks. As soon as the state law expires in June, we will be going back to that. Okay, so in June 30th, starting July 1st, as an example, the city of Carson could have their own moratorium regarding COVID rents. Whereas a neighboring city next to Carson might be Torrance, they could have their own different moratoriums. So we're going to go back to that starting in July. So get ready. I mean, I could sugarcoat it any way you want me to, but I'd rather just tell you how it is so that we can buckle up and prepare. At least we know what we're up against. All those little cities making all those little rules, they're coming back. Okay, they're coming back. It's a matter of when, not if. Okay, hold on, I'm back to all this stuff. Okay, while I do not like these tenants since I am pals with the neighbors who are always complaining about them, I'm just trying to clean up this mess. I am concerned about all the new disclosures and even rental agreement with COVID nonsense. These people have never received any notices. Do I need to provide all of the many notices? Or if I start on a month-to-month, May 1st, do I need to serve the old notices? I'd start on a month-to-month on May 1st, Val, no joke, and I'd include all the addendums. All of the addenda, sorry. Addendum is plural, it means one. Addenda means there's more than one. So I would include all that addenda. I would. It's just a better business practice. Besides, then you have a lease packet for your next one that comes up. My tenant installed a Ring camera. Wait a minute. Your tenant made a modification to the property without written consent of the landlord. Might be a material breach of your rental agreement. You might want to have a look. Thank you. Want you to hear it. I don't like it. I haven't said anything because we have no rights now. After this COVID BS is over, can I complain? Just because I haven't doesn't mean I gave consent. Are you in LA City? The city of LA with this property? Geraldo. You're in the county of LA. What city are you in? Carson, Long Beach, help me out. Huntington Park. You most likely can do a 3-day notice for a curable breach of covenant, asking them to remove the modification made to the property without written consent of the landlord. And you most likely could do that now. Contact your legal counsel. Okay, got it? Which surveillance, and thank you, Teresa, for calling it a surveillance system. For those of you new to me, please do not call it a security camera. We do not provide security. Nobody is watching those cameras 24/7 and reporting to law enforcement as things are happening. So they are surveillance. They are not security. Got it? Okay. Which surveillance system camera is outdoor where you can save some video on an SD card, your own recording, not pay a monthly cloud fee? Yep. Yeah, there's a bunch of them out there. Hold on a second. Ring is the most expensive. I use Blink, B-L-I-N-K. I like them because they have two-way talking. So as your person in your driveway, hi, who are you here to see? I can talk to them. I can talk to them. I can see them. I can turn the lights on and off. So that's with a camera called Blink, B-L-I-N-K. And there's a lot of knockoffs out there that offer that too. You just need to use the one that works for you the best. I prefer Blink over Ring. they have, I'm gonna call it a security light, but it doesn't provide security, but basically it's the motion sensor lights. There you go. They have those adapters that have camera capabilities right through that. So I really like it. There's a lot of things you can do with those. Are there different rules for ordinary wear and tear for occupants with leases of less than 1 year? I have a tenant who moved out upon expiration of a 10-month lease with at least 50 nail holes. Can I charge the tenant to fill up the nail holes and the touch-up paint? Lee, how are you? I haven't talked to you in what feels like forever. Absolutely you can. Sounds to me like they played darts. 50 nail holes. Yes, you can charge that. If they would have left the nail in the wall, it would have been considered wear and tear. But if they left nail holes, then that is damage. Why? What if it was LA City, say Van Nuys? Oh, Anna, I got to go back and see what you're talking about. Because of LA County's moratorium, LA City's moratorium, and the restrictions, the city of LA is the most restrictive in all of Southern California. So whenever we're doing things or doing, we want to be cautious that we're not exposing ourselves with other things because they have so many protections. So if you are in the city of Los Angeles, LA City has its own protections, not Van Nuys. That's not city of LA. That's the city of Van Nuys. Understand? City of Los Angeles is the most restrictive. Blink. Can you say it without, hold on. Blink. I thought you said blink. Can you say it without blinking? Let me see. Blink. Can you save it without paying a monthly recording and save on your own SD card? I don't know. I would check in with that. My son handles all of that. So I don't know. Somebody else gave me another name where you can save it to your own SD card. And I think it's called, it's a 4-letter word. And I want to say it's like wave, but it's spelled weird. Question. Is any rent not paid by the tenant rent relief from October through March? Is any rent not paid by rent relief? I'm going to change your question, Diana, so that everybody gets it, okay? Any rents not paid by the rental relief programs from March 1st of 2020 through March 31st of 2022, that will have to be a small claims case, most likely. A small claims case, and then you can pursue collections once you get the money judgment. Ways, that's it, ways. You can get the money judgment through small claims on any of those COVID rents. Tenants have up to a year after the protected period of the pandemic's over to pay that money back. Then you can start those small claims cases. They are unlimited. If the tenant vacates, then they owe the money then, right now. Staying in possession protects them. If they vacate, they're no longer protected. Yeah, there's a bunch of surveillance cameras out there that are reliable and inexpensive. Like I said, I use Blink just because that's what my kid says is the easiest, but it can't save big videos because of size. Okay. I just want to know when they're at my door. I want to know when they're standing out there. I want to talk to them. What are you doing here? All right. Does anybody have anything else they want to discuss? Have questions that need to be asked? And I love that you guys come back into my class the next day and ask me questions on a class I taught yesterday, because it tells me a lot. It tells me a whole lot. And I saw lots of questions coming up in that class, but they only asked me a few of them. Hey, what you gonna do? All right, I saw something else come through. Your library of talks, where do we find it? I wanted to put a calendar up on Widget's Way so you guys would know where I was talking and when I was doing what, yada, 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 yada. My web guy said that that might not be good if somebody was looking to find me, they would know right where to find me. So for my own protection, he suggested that not be put up there that way, but I would love to, I get you, because I'd love to have all you guys at my talks. The library of these Wednesday talks. Yes, no, thank you guys. I can only do what I do because you guys tell me where I need to focus. Focus on this area. I need to learn more about dispositions of security deposit, Patty. So focus there. I only teach what you guys tell me. So you guys got to get out of me what you want. Hold on, I saw something. Oh, thank you. My Wednesday with widgets, I'm okay. My Wednesdays with Widget is on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel where you can rewatch those. The only thing that I would tell you is if you're going to go back and watch those, and mind you, I started that when the pandemic started. Okay, so I want to say the very first one is in March of 2020. Just watch those dates when you're listening to them because the laws have changed. I'm going to keep it simple. We started the Wednesdays with Widget in March of 2020 when the pandemic first happened. I figured that we all needed somebody to talk to, right? So that's when we started that. The laws evolved and changed from there. So I don't want you to go watch something from October of last year and think that those are the rules today. That's all I'm trying to say. But yes, you can go back and watch all of those on the YouTube channel. Just be mindful of the date and the information because the rules changed all the way through that, okay? They should all start with the date, and that's what's going to save you. I just don't want you to listen to something that may have been going on in October of 2020 that doesn't apply now. Just saying. So if you're going to go back and watch those, please keep that into consideration because it was going through the pandemic. They need to be date specific. Landlord MD, Patty, Mad Doctor. You know, I was thinking, I was actually thinking of doing some Udemy classes and doing it something like the property doctor or the investment doctor, or trying to come up with some kind of a name along those lines. I know you, if I be quiet long enough, you guys come up with all these great names for me. So we'll see. What other things can I teach in this class on getting more bang for your buck out of your legal counsel at the trade show? What else do you guys want to know there? Doc her. I like that. I like that. See? Okay, so I'm going to teach some new classes. You guys all come up with new topics and what we're going to call me so we can get it out there. Want to do some stuff on Udemy too, mostly focusing on dispositions of security deposit. I know those are extremely challenging for us sometimes, knowing what we can and what we can't do. And the reality of all of it all comes down to, it doesn't matter what I say, it doesn't matter what the attorney says, it doesn't matter what your tenant says. It's up to a judge in a small claims court if it's going to fly or not, simply said. So with that being said, I'll let you know what I do know about it and where we can play there. But yeah, I'm all in for teaching classes, and I can't thank you guys enough for helping me with that. Because of you, it makes me focus on where I need to educate. So it helps me tremendously. You guys are a great asset to what I do, and I appreciate you more than you know. Because of you, I'm able to spread the knowledge because of your specific problem that gets me to dive into a rabbit hole. I start learning a bunch more and then I can share a bunch more. So it helps tremendously. I can't thank you guys enough. I love all of you. And remember, none of you pay me rent, so I'm not going to be mad at any of you. Somebody said, Patty, you're always so nice. I'm like, well, you don't owe me rent. I am human. All right, you guys, I'm going to end this for today unless anybody has anything else they want to add, and I will see you back next Wednesday. Thank you. You guys are awesome. all your trials and your tribulations and those weird things that happen to you that you bring to my attention, we share with everybody so that we all know what to expect and what we're up against. So thank you guys so much. I will see you next week. I think somebody accidentally texted the group. I see that.
Thank you,
Mark.
Patty.
No problem. You guys have a great week. Bye.
You as well. Bye.
Bye.